So this is the leaked legend Jester, but there's a bit more of a backstory to who Jester might be. Now Jester was going to be a character in the Titanfall 2 campaign, but he was scrapped just before release. However, this means that they still actually sold a minifigure of Jester, so we know exactly what Jester looks like, and we know a bit about who Jester is. And since the name is the same, it seems like Jester in Apex Legends is probably going to be this Jester we see here. So who is Jester? Well, previously they were an IMC operative who died in some way, but then they created a simulacrum which has his mind. Kind of. He's actually programmed to believe that he's the original operative, but he has no self-awareness of normal human limitations. That's what the Titanfall wiki says. You can go and read it yourself as well if you want to. So that means Jester is going to be a simulacrum, and I think there's going to be a lot of interesting lore with that, and I can't wait to see Jester get added to the game one day in the future. Anyway, enough of that, let's talk about Jester's abilities and the kit that he comes with. So starting off with the passive, a really interesting passive that I would genuinely love to see into the game. And this is called Rewire. Now we have no gameplay of this, but I created my own concept, so I'll play that in the background. But Jester can turn any grenade into a proximity mine that sticks to the surface, but they can also toggle between modes. So let's say you have a frag grenade, just like you change fire mode on a weapon, you can change the fire mode of the grenade, essentially allowing it to become a proximity mine. So if an enemy walks near it, it will detonate and do the damage, or obviously it can be a normal grenade. Now in my concept, I allowed them to kind of stick to walls, but let's be honest, it will probably just stick to the ground. It will just be a bit like an arc mine from Titanfall, but it will be so cool doing this with all the different grenades. Imagine a little thermite proximity mine. Someone runs past it and then they just get set on fire. I think it is a really good passive ability, one of the stronger ones at that. And they also spawn with a frag grenade, which is very useful as well. Then the tactical is the Spectre drop, which is very interesting as well. You'll call in a drop pod with 3 Spectres to guard an area. Now only one set can be active at a time, which makes sense, but there's no actual models for these Spectres that we can see in the gameplay, but essentially there will be 3 of these Spectres that will just walk around this area, they'll guard it, and if anyone comes nearby or in the line of sight, they'll probably shoot at them. They probably won't be super accurate, they probably won't do loads of damage, but it will really throw off your enemies, of course. And obviously with the leaks that Spectres are being added to Apex Legends in Season 13, this makes sense, so Jester might be in the game a lot sooner than we think. Now let's move on to the ultimate. So the ultimate is called Cloak Field, and a lot of Mirage mains will like this one. It creates a short-lived cloaking device that hides all players in a small area. Cloak lasts for 6 seconds after leaving the field. So you put down this device and everyone in the radius becomes invisible. So maybe even enemies will come invisible, which is going to be confusing as heck. And the fact that even when you leave the area, you get to stay invisible for 6 seconds. Let's say you just get rushed by a team. Just drop this immediately and you can all disperse and you'll have time. And obviously if you stay within the radius, you'll be invisible the whole time. You could just run around. And the best thing about this is you could bait them. You could throw it down and then not go anywhere. And they're more likely going to expect you to run away. But if you just stay in the exact same spot, they might then run past, go looking for you, and then you're just in the same place. It seems like it's going to be a very interesting ultimate. A lot of fun bamboozles will happen with this ultimate. And yeah, overall, a really fun kit. Jester seems like a very fun character.